Welcome back, everyone, to the channel. It's turned out to be a very special day for Arsenal Football Club, and hopefully this brings something going forward in terms of bringing the striker in. And that is because one striker who has been nicking a living, representing a famous number, disgracing that number while wearing it, having the first touch of a brick wall, and missing sitter after sitter, getting chance after chance. Eddie Nketiah is finally leaving Arsenal. But before we do get into it, make sure you are doing the following: hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, turning the post notifications on down below so you do get notified if we do ever get a striker now that we've got some money in for this absolute scrub. But yeah, where do we begin? Got to my good old mate Fabrizio Romano, who I trust a lot, definitely. If you've seen the video regarding my trust in Fabrizio Romano, you'll wonder what I'm talking about. If not, go check it out. It should be a short coming up there if I can even get it to work. But if I do get it to work, it should be there. Fabrizio Romano, 46 minutes ago, tweeted that Eddie Nketiah to Crystal Palace. Here we go. Deal in place between clubs for £25 million fixed fee plus £5 million in bonuses. Nketiah already accepted to join Crystal Palace 2 days ago and is now set to complete medical test. Permanent move as Arsenal wanted. Green light has finally arrived. This is probably one of the best pieces of news in the whole transfer window. Players in wise, we've done absolutely terrible. Players out, we've done somewhat okay. Although some players are still here that we do need to get rid of, but that's a whole separate video. If we don't do it by the time the transfer window ends, and that is in what, 4 or 5 days' time. It's currently 27th of August. I think it shuts on the 1st of September. But yeah, Eddie Nketiah finally gone. I'm very happy about this now that he is off the wage bill. Look, I'm going to sort of talk about Eddie's whole Arsenal career and why. I'm going to question why he even got the pay rise, why he even got the game time he did over certain players. I'm going to question why he got that number 14 shirt. But we're going to take it back to when he first got into the scene, and I was fairly young at the time, so I can't remember. I think it was either Doncaster or Norwich City, where I think he came off the bench to score a couple of goals in the League Cup. I think it was Norwich. I think they were 1-0 down, and he came on to score 2 goals. That's when he sort of announced himself as a sort of Arsenal youngster. A bit like how Bukayo Saka did with that goal against Frankfurt, goal against Wolves. And then I think that was towards the end of Arsene Wenger's reign, so we didn't really get much game time there. I'm not pretty sure. I think he might have had a couple appearances off the bench, but that's about it. And then Unai Emery, in his first full season, I'm not really too sure if he got much game time, to be fair. I really don't remember, because it was obviously mainly that Aubameyang and Lacazette partnership that was up front. But I remember him. I think he scored his first Premier League goal away at, I want to say, Burnley or West Ham. I think it might have been Burnley on the last day of the season when we just bought a top four, and before we got into the Europa League final. And then obviously Emery got sacked. Arteta came in. He got a bit of game time in the Premier League. I think he scored a couple of goals, I'm pretty sure. But didn't really do too much to set the world alight. And then he went on to loan. He went out on loan, sorry, to Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds, where the highlight of that guy's loan spell was absolutely nothing. He was on the bench for most of that season, and that was the season where they got promoted to the Premier League. This guy has even proved himself that he can't even cut it in the Championship. So then he starts getting more game time, the occasional game here and there, not really doing a whole lot, doing really nothing really. This guy's Arsenal career is pretty much having the tiniest little purple patches and then getting game time off it. And then the last thing that I really remember, that was the pivotal part of why Arsenal were in this wage mess anyway is that he had a sort of little spell where he he came in for Lacazette, who was dropping stinker after stinker. Aubameyang had just left. We were fighting the top four in the 21-22 season, I think it was. And he scored a couple goals against Chelsea, a couple goals against Leeds United. And even though he bottled top four, he got a pay rise of what I thought was 100 grand a week. Turns out it was 120 grand a week. £120, £120,000 as well. And also got the famous number 14 shirt worn by our legend Thierry Henry, who has a statue outside the stadium. Then he had to come in when Gabriel Jesus got injured in that little title run in, did a little bit, didn't do much. The most that I remember was a brace against Manchester United. Since then, this guy has gotten a decent amount of game time, even up to last season, and did absolutely nothing. Whenever this guy started, he was non existent in games, his touch was baggy, he couldn't link play. He was getting way more game time in the middle than the likes of Leandro Trossard or even Gabriel Martinelli, who can start in the middle. Trossard in the false nine was what we all wanted to see. And for some reason, we were having Eddie Nketiah up front, who every game he played did absolutely nothing. He even came on in some Champions League games. I think he scored his first Champions League goal last season. Did nothing in the games where it actually mattered, and when he came on. And off the back of that, he's finally leaving this season. Look, Crystal Palace is probably about his level. He'll play. I think they've still got. I think Jordan Ayew just went to Leicester, so he will probably be in Ayew's place. I think they got Mateta, they got Edouard. So look, I think he'll do all right at Palace. I think that's his level really. Arsenal Football Club was never the level for this guy. I don't know why this guy got so much game time. Why this guy got 100 grand a week, 120 grand a week, and he had the audacity to even ask for Thierry Henry's shirt number. Now, don't get me wrong, yeah, if you put him in a system where he can just score tap-ins from 6 yards out, because everything outside of that, his game is not good enough. He's not exactly the quickest striker either. If Oliver Glasner could put him into a system like that, he might do all right at Crystal Palace. But for Arsenal Football Club, to keep him as long as we've done, and for whatever reason, whatever that's Arteta saw in this guy, it's just not good enough. But look, I'm happy that he's gone finally. But I'm hoping, fingers crossed, this means that we're gonna put in a late move for a striker. Do I think we will? Probably not. We've got 4 days left. We haven't seen any strong links to any strikers. The last thing I even remember was Victor Gyökeres, but that looks like it won't happen. I got a Sky Sports notification earlier saying that Chelsea want to move for Ivan Toney. Whether that's any true or not, I don't know. I hope it's not because they've already got killers up front anyway. Well, I say killers up front. Striker, not really, but everywhere else they've got proper good players. This 25 mil, possibly 30 mil. I'm not sure even we'll go towards anyone because if you think about it, look, I will do a separate video on the transfer window, maybe on deadline day or even after, sort of assessing what we haven't done, what we have done, the little that we have done. But yeah, this video was mainly about Eddie Nketiah and the underwhelming career at Arsenal Football Club that he had. And now he's finally gone. Look, good luck to him, I guess. I think he will do decently at Crystal Palace. No pressure really to perform at those type of clubs. Or dare I say pressure? People were saying Palace might get into Europe this season. Do I think they will? Probably not. They haven't got the players outside their squad to do good enough in that aspect. But yeah, look, good luck to him. I hope he smashes it. Just wasn't good enough to wear that 14 shirt. Wasn't good enough to wear that. Have that 120 grand a week contract and be a bench player really and start in the games where he shouldn't have started over some other players. But yeah, let me know what you think of this whole Eddie Nketiah situation. Did you rate him? Did you not rate him? Just let me know in the comment section below. Share this content around, hit a like on the video, subscribe, and I'll see you lot in a bit.